hear music? Or am I having a stroke? What the hell is that? Go to the light? So basically you're saying I should die then, thank you. Go to the light.
Coming to haunt you.
It's Anne Murray talking nice. But this man, he took the continuing education class, and now he took the last shop class, writing mechanics and energy and emotion. And please, a huge hand for our own Mr. Cliff Wilkinson, please.
Hello, Sherwood Park. I'm Cliff Wilkinson. I've been retired now since last August. One of the things I have on my to-do list for retirement is to become a better public speaker. I thought to myself, well, I can join Toastmasters because they have an excellent reputation all over the world, producing great public speakers. But you know, they're not cheap. So I thought to myself, well, at Toastmasters, what they do is they have meetings and they give speeches to one another. I'm thinking, well, if all they do is have meetings and give speeches to one another, I could do that at Alcoholics Anonymous. And their meetings are free. Or with a small donation. And they serve coffee. So for me, this is a no-brainer. And it has worked out really well for me because on any given night, anywhere around Edmonton, you'll find at least one Alcoholics Anonymous meeting going on somewhere in the city. So I can be out there getting all the practice I want. And every meeting is essentially the same. The group leader starts with a few introductory remarks. And then he asks his audience if anyone has anything they want to say. So of course I said, me. And so I go to the front and I say, hello. My name's Cliff, and I'm an alcoholic. And they all go, hi, Cliff! Those guys are so supportive, I just love them. And then I give them the story that alcohols were in my life. Now, I don't even drink, but I tell them that I lost my job, and my wife has kicked me out of the house, and I'm estranged from my kids. But now, with the help of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm getting my life back together again. That is your basic AA story. That's your basic template. And if you can work within that template, you can get as creative as you like. So at first, I wanted to start working on making my voice a bit more expressive, giving it a bit more color. So when it was my turn, I'd go up front and I'd say something like, I was so drunk, I couldn't even find my way home from the game. And when I did get home, my wife threw me out. And the next day, she changed the locks. And now I live in a cheap hotel. I did that for weeks. And different clubs around town. But now I'm working on what's called encouraging audience participation. Because some people are kind of shy and they need a bit of encouragement. So when it's my turn, I go up front and I have them stand up and push their chairs back against the walls, and then we form a large circle, and I lead them in things like the chicken dance and the Macarena, and of course the YMCA song. They have to have the YMCA. They will not sit down until they've done the YMCA song. So I think that I've improved my public speaking, thanks to Alcoholics Anonymous. I want to thank anyone out there who's aware of them, because they are in fact a wonderful organization, and I mean that sincerely. first when I retired, it was hard because I'd worked all my life, and suddenly I had nothing to do all day. But now I found something that I just love, and it's just so rewarding. I go for job interviews. Now, I have no intention of ever going back to work. But, you know, I just love a good job interview. I really do. And I especially like applying for jobs for which I am completely unqualified. So what I do is I go to the job postings and see what they want. And then I create a phony resume with all sorts of imaginary education and imaginary work experience and references from dead people, right? And I send it away. You would be amazed at the number of companies that will respond. I'm amazed. Now, I'm up to speed now, and I'm getting like 3 and 4 interviews a week. Now, it's always interesting to see just how far into the interview I can get before they twig to the fact that something is not quite right. At first, I had a hard time getting through the introductions. But now, I can go for 30 minutes and these guys are still making notes. I think a large part of my success in this regard is due to the fact that before I go for an interview, I always try to learn a bit of the shop talk, a bit of the professional jargon, so that I can sound more authentic. So for example, I went to an interview with, it was an import-export company or something, it doesn't really matter, and they wanted someone to head up their accounts payable department. Now, I can't handle it. My wife has to give me an allowance. And I run out of cash usually about Wednesday, right? So yes, I'm applying for this accounting job. But before I go in, I consult a dictionary of accounting terms, and I learn maybe 6 words, and I study them, and I kind of know what they mean, but like, not yet. So that in the interview, I'm saying things like, it's been my experience over the years that capital assets generally allocate payables in a quarterly rather than an annual amortized depletion. To the best of my knowledge, that was complete gibberish. The panel that's interviewing me are like, oh, well, perhaps we could also make use of that amortized depletion. Hey, it's always worked for me, go for it. At first, when I started doing this, I'd always try to do everything just right. I'd be smartly dressed, I'd have that good firm handshake, I'd have the good eye contact, I'd have that relaxed, open posture that the human resources people just seem to love so much. And I try my best to communicate a genuine interest in their organization. Oh yes, and I always ask about opportunities for advancement. Because they just want that. But now, you know, it's starting to get a bit dodgy out there for me because I'm starting to get job offers. And this didn't happen at first, but it's happening now. People actually want to hire me. The first time it happened, it freaked me out. The job was air traffic controller. And the woman who was interviewing me was originally from the United States, and she had this slow southern drawl that I just love so much, and I'm really enjoying talking to her. And the interview's going great, and all of a sudden she offers me the job. And oh my God, so I have to think fast. And so on. just so you know, just a heads up, I will have to take time off work every Wednesday afternoon to attend sex rehab. And I'm thinking, well, I'll give her a pause, right? But no, she's like, sex rehab? Honey, you go to sex rehab? You mean like Tiger Woods? No, more like Ted Bundy. She said she'd get back to me. So, you've been great. Thank you so much.
Oh man, that's our Cliff right there. That's Cliff Wilkinson.